This is actually interesting because I know that it might be disrespectful, but I'm going to be vulnerable and honest because I'm vulnerable and honest with the gentleman that I argue with. Debate kindly with. Once they told me about this and the other thing I'm about to bring up afterwards, I kind of not lost respect, but put my guards up. I'm not going to listen to this guy because it gets scary. Because when I hear somebody kind of tiptoeing in a direction that I think might be led by Lucifer, I tend to shut my ears because it freaks me out. But the same guy that we're now understanding might be on the path of true righteousness, and I might have been wrongfully judging. His spirit, man, is different. Is different. When him and his loved one, the girl that he's with, prayed over Belle, and you could speak this, but I saw it in her eyes. It was different. I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps.
I have goosebumps all over my body. It was they prayed over us, and it felt like such a deep, powerful prayer, and it was actually cry every podcast now. Oh my god. But it was actually that night.
I know that you see this as a bad thing, but like, it's such a blessing that you're able to show this deep of yourself on camera.
It was that night after that prayer that, like, I had I feel like my first true encounter like with Jesus. And I felt like before that time, I had a relationship with God, and I knew God, and I did my best to lead my life with the Lord and, walk in that path, and you know what I mean? But I was missing this. I was missing that feeling, I was missing that true connection with Jesus. Mm-hmm. That feeling that I felt like George had, or the feeling that I felt like they had. There was that something special about them that I was like, wow, there's something about you that is just so different. And I prayed that I could feel that. And it was after that prayer and that night that George and I got into a personal conversation that, I was feeling guilty about a certain person in my life that I felt like I wasn't forgiving. And so we kind of had that conversation, and then I went upstairs and I had a prayer with God, and I prayed with all my heart, for him to give me faith, for him to heal that relationship, for him to give me that forgiveness. And it felt like the most truest, most powerful prayer that I've ever had. And after that moment, I just remember, because I'd been crying so much and I had makeup all over my face, and I was like, okay, you know what? I need to go wash my face. And so then I went to the sink and I washed my face, and then this voice inside my head, and I didn't even know that you could, I didn't know you could, baptize yourself or anything like that. And I was already baptized when I was younger, and I was at the sink, and I was hearing something in my head telling me that towards the end, okay, wash your face and rinse it 3 times. And when you rinse it 3 times, say in the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. And I rinsed my face 3 times with those words. And afterwards, I just can't even explain it. It was like this, it felt like I'd just been cleaned. Like I'd been blessed, with literally like a fire in my Holy Spirit. And I felt just so at peace. And then I came back downstairs, and George and I were having a conversation on the balcony. And then it was in that moment, I don't know why, that when we were talking about Jesus, is like, it clicked. Like I finally truly understood what mm-hmm. Jesus did for us, what that meant, and the sacrifice that it meant, and what a gift it is for us. And it was like, I just couldn't even believe it. Like that feeling that I had been missing for so long. It's like it finally clicked inside of me. And I never felt my Holy Spirit feel so much more on fire than in that moment. And I just fell to my knees and thanked him. And ever since then, it's like my walk with the Lord has been so different.